Hello everyone, Meistering here with some more Demon Bluff. We have one outcast, so we can kill this Bombardier. No character was affected. Fortune teller's truthful. Lover is not truthful. Alright, so we get to start with a nice easy village. Okay, we still only have one outcast. The Dreamer does not think that she could be a puppet, so we're going to kill 5. Oh, 2 pairs of evil. So, alright. We're still doing great here. I mean, I could have these Slayers randomly click on some unrevealed cards, but I'm not going to do that. I could have these Slayers click each other. Okay. Alright, so 5 thinks that 3 is corrupted. Wonder if 3 is the drunk. No. Yeah, the Slayer doesn't have his ability because he's a shaman. Okay, anyway, both sides are equally evil. Oh, I guess that means 9 has to be some kind of evil. It's only 1 pair of evil. I guess if that's false, then it's 8 or 2. That's the last evil. Oh, right, but it's not 2 because, yeah, because both sides are equally evil. Okay. Alright, so we have 3 evils. There is no puppet. Okay, well, 3 is definitely lying. 4 is immune to being a puppet, so, alright, cool. Okay, and 5 is lying. 5 is corrupted, because 6 is the poisoner. Nice. We have 2 outcasts. Could the Bombardier be a doppelganger? Well, the 2 lovers would have to be real if that was the case, and they're clearly not. So yeah, the Bombardier is definitely good. The Dreamer is not. What about the Judge? Okay, Judge is truthful. Fortune teller is truthful. Yeah, I guess that means 4 has to be a real fortune teller. Well, okay, so 3 is truthful. 3 could be a puppet. But then 2 or 4 would have to be a puppeteer. And 4 is obviously not a puppeteer because 4 is truthful. And for the same reason, 3 is not a puppet. And 4 is not a puppet. I don't know which way I got. Whatever. Got mixed up. Anyway, I think 8 and 1 are just the puppet and puppeteer. Nope. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm killing 7, because 7's the puppet. We got a Slayer that... Or we got a Baker that's a big liar. We cannot have any duplicates. So the 2 Slayers can't both be real. Let's just have them kill each other. Okay. So that makes me think that this Baker is probably just corrupted. Well, okay, so both the Baker and the Hunter are saying things that are not true. But we know that, yeah, this Bishop's pointing at 1, 2, and 3. So it means 1 and 2 are both good, for sure. I guess 9 could be a puppet. Could 5 be a puppet? Maybe. Okay, but what was I even saying? 1 and 2 must be good. One of those is an outcast, and the other one is a villager. Okay, it leads me to believe that 2 is probably the drunk. and 4 is corrupted by the poisoner. Is it possible that anything else is happening? Is it possible that 2 is normal? Yeah, 2 is just a villager, 3 is corrupting 2, and then 1 is the drunk. Okay, 1's the drunk, 2's a villager. Then there's only 1 pair of evil. Then what? 4 is the Ba. Let's see what this judge thinks. Alright, judge is truthful. I guess since 8 is not the puppeteer, and 1 is not the puppeteer, that must mean 9 is not a puppet. Anyway, yeah, what if it's, it could be that 4 is the Ba, Slayer is the puppet, and 6 is the puppeteer. And then, yeah. And then this knitter is the drunk. And then 2 is regular corrupted. And, well, that means 7's statement is false, because the 2 sides are equally evil, and there's just no more room for that. Okay, so I think it's impossible for 1 to be the drunk, because I think that all happens if 1 is the drunk. So I think that means 2 is the drunk, 4 is a villager. And there have to be 2 pairs of evil. Let's just kill 7. Okay, so we got a puppet somewhere, and it's over there, and that's the 2 pairs of evil. Yeah, because if they're like some people in a row, you can just kill the one in the middle if you know there have to be pairs. 1 or 5 the shaman, 6 or 5. Okay, well, we have a shaman. All right, we have 2 oracles, fortune teller. Okay, we have 2 oracles and 2 enlightened. Okay, so I don't know which pair is the real pair. Kind of want to just test the jester. What's the best way to do that? I think I'll test these 3 people. Okay, jester says 1, which I think is probably true. Suppose 7 is the evil. Well, then 5 and 6 are good. And then, it's either the oracle, yeah, the oracle could be good and the fortune teller could be evil, or the fortune teller could be evil and the jester would, that doesn't make, the jester would not be corrupted. If it, well, okay, hold on a second. Suppose 7 is evil. Okay, and these guys are good. Closest evil is clockwise, has to be true. Unless 5 is the drunk. Okay, what if 5 is the drunk? Well, okay, let's just say 5 is truthful. Well, closest evil is clockwise, so that's 2 clockwise. So, 3 and 4 would have to be good, so it would be 3 or more counterclockwise. But actually, the enlightened have to be the shaman pair. So I think it would have to be 1 and 7 if 7 was evil. So if 7 is evil, then 1 is evil, I believe. Okay. Okay, what if 7's the drunk? Well, that's impossible. Because if 7 is the drunk, then 6 has to be a fake bombardier. But at the same time, 6 cannot be evil. Okay, so suppose 7 is good, and then one of these guys is evil. Or whatever, suppose 7 is truthful, and then one of these guys is evil. Okay. Um, I don't know. Between 3, 5, and 7, there's one evil if this gesture is telling the truth. Okay, suppose the Oracle is good and 6 is evil. Well, let's suppose 5 is evil and the Bombardier is good. Okay. Well, then the closest evil is not clockwise. So 6, 7, and 1 are all good. Then the last evil is 2, 3, or 4. But 3 is telling the truth. Yeah, 7 and 3 are the shaman pair. 2 is lying. Okay. So it could be 7 and 1, but that are the evils. But if 7 is good, it could be that 5 and 2 are the evils. But what if 6 is the shaman? Then 5 is probably... Well, okay, 5 could be telling the truth, or 5 could be the drunk. If 5 is the drunk, then it would be 4 that's the last evil. But then 2 is lying and has no excuse, I guess. Yeah. So in this situation, 5 would not be the drunk. Yeah, 5 would just have to be telling the truth. Okay. So then 4 thinks that 3 is good. No, 4 thinks that 3 is evil, 3 thinks that 1 is evil, and I guess 2 thinks that 1 is evil. So I guess in this situation it turns out that... No, wait, if 6 is evil, then 6 is specifically the shaman. So 3 is lying. You know, let's just kill this fortune teller, see what happens. Okay, well, it's... Alright, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out from here, though. So, if it's 7, well, if 7's evil, then these guys are good. And this outcast is real, so there's no drunk to deal with. Then, well, if 3 is good and 7 is evil, well, okay, so 3 could not be good in this, or at least not truthful. I should try to solve for if somebody can be good. Can this oracle be... Well, I don't know. Suppose this enlightened is good, because it seems like kind of a tall ask now that we know that 1 is good. The closest evil is counterclockwise. So 7 would have to be evil for this to be the case, and then that's 2 spaces counterclockwise, and 3 spaces clockwise would be 5. So it would be, I guess, some combination of 5, 6, and 7, which is impossible because there can only be one evil among 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And I guess since the one enlightened is a demon, the other one's fake as well. Well, that certainly happened. 4 cards away from closest evil. Well, that's obviously false. Wonder if 3 is the drunk. That'd be funny. Nope. Okay, cool. 3 away from closest evil. I guess it's possible. Well, okay, so this bishop has to be good, since she's referring to herself. Okay. If she's corrupted, then that means she's a drunk. But she can't be a drunk either, because she's just... because then she would be an outcast, but she would be pointing to herself and would be a villager. So 1 just has to be telling the truth, which means 4 or 6 is evil. Okay. Yeah, it didn't really, the order didn't really matter. Okay. Alright, is this judge truthful? Yes, the judge is truthful. I feel like this hunter is the puppet. Hey, you got him. Closest evil is counterclockwise. Well, that's obviously false. 1 is not a real enlightened. Okay, I guess 6 is corrupted, and yeah. Alright, well, one of these confessors is possibly corrupted. That's cool. I'm gonna kill one of them anyway. Alright. Awesome! They were both good. They were both evil. Both good kills, I guess. Well, 7 is not good, and 1 is not corrupted. Alright, well that was a very fortunate round. Alright, 6 is telling the truth. 4 is not telling the truth. We cannot have a second outcast. So 3 is lying. And yeah, 4 and 3 are lying. So I guess we don't know if 5 is lying. Let's just start killing people. Nice. We have 2 outcasts, so we could have a doppelganger if the gem crafters are telling the truth. Oh, we also have 2 poets. We could have a doppelganger, or we could just have this bombardier. Okay. So this bishop seems to think that 3 and 6 are a doppelganger pair. Oh, we have a shaman as well. Okay, so we have 2 gem crafters and 2 poets, and those are the only duplicates that we have. If they are, if we have a doppelganger, then they're both real. There's no corruption here. Guess that helps a lot. Okay, suppose this bishop is telling the truth. Then these are a doppelganger pair, and these gem crafters are, good. They're telling the truth. And 5 is evil. And the bombardier has to be fake as well. Okay. And then I guess by process of elimination it's a slayer. So I guess it would be exactly 4, 5, and 8. Cool. If it turns out 2 is telling the truth. So I guess I'll kill 2, and then if... Alright. Alright, well... So 2 is not good. Nice. Yeah, I guess with no corruption, it's very simple. You just kill anybody who's not telling the truth. Huh, well we have 2 slayers. Let's see if this knight is the drunk. Nope. This hunter is lying, so we're gonna kill him. And I guess the slayer is the puppeteer. One of the slayers. I really should have flipped 7 to find out. Oh wait, no, there's no corruption here at all, so the alchemist is worthless. Okay. We have 2 pairs of evil, allegedly. Yeah, 7 has to be a real alchemist, because there's no fake alchemist that's good here. Um, Alright, 1 thinks that 5 is good, 5 thinks that 9 is good, and I guess 9 just has to think that 8 is evil, because if 8 is not evil, and instead it's 6, then it's 3 spaces counterclockwise to get to an evil, so it would have to be 4 spaces clockwise. So there's only space between 4, 5, and 6. For there to be 3 evils, which just isn't possible. Okay, so 9 is just accusing 8 straight up. There's actually no reason not to click this. Well, let's just test the Jester. Alright, the Jester's telling the truth. Yeah, we know that 3 is good, we know that 7 is good, and we know that 4 counts as evil. So this Jester's telling the truth, and this Enlightened is not. And neither is this Gemcrafter. And neither is this Medium. Nice. Good job, Jester. You solved the entire village for me. Let's kill one of these Confessors. I think it would be fun. Oh, Puppet. Okay. And a Puppeteer. I was hoping to hit the Lilith, but hitting 2 evils for the price of 1 is also pretty sweet. 3 pairs of evil. I mean, maybe. What does this Judge think? Alright, this Judge is telling the truth. This Bishop is telling the truth, because 2 is evil. And then 6 and 10, I guess, contain a Doppelganger and a Villager. Okay. Well, in that case, I think the Knitter has to be telling the truth. Yeah, I vaguely remember seeing a tip where a Knitter that says 3 or more is always truthful. Okay, well, the Gemcrafter thinks that 6 is a real Bombardier. That's cool. This Enlightened does not. Okay. What about this Judge? Alright, Judge is truthful. Oh, we have 2 outcasts. Let's see what this Jester thinks. Okay, Jester thinks 0 evil, so the Jester thinks the Bombardier is good. Man, I really want to just kill 8 and see what happens. But 8 could be a Bombardier, and 6 could be fake. Well, let's kill this Enlightened, see what happens. I feel like people who claim to be outcasts are usually telling the truth. So I was just like, I had a hunch. Anyway, closest evil is not clockwise, which I guess since there's 1 evil left, there's only 1 other evil on the board. So if the evil was on the top left half of the map, like number 8, it would be 3 spaces clockwise or 5 spaces counterclockwise. Anyway, 6 and 8 are obviously good. This Gemcrafter is telling the truth, this Jester is telling the truth, and we can kill the Enlightened. Alright, we have a fake Baker, we have some fake Confessors, and we have a Bard who's clearly telling the boldest lie I've seen in a while. Well, we can't have 2 Confessors, so let's just kill one of them. Yay. Dreamer's probably truthful. Yes, Dreamer is truthful. That means 8 is a real Dreamer. 1 has to be good, since 1 is not a Puka, obviously. I feel like 6 is probably the Puka. Nice. I guess the only way this Baker... Wait, this Baker could be corrupted if the Plague Doctor corrupted her. Okay. So, allegedly, the Plague Doctor corrupted the Baker. Let's see what we think of 5. 5 thinks that 7 is good. Actually, okay, suppose I trust this Plague Doctor and kill 5 and 5 is good. Well, then we know the Plague Doctor is lying about 1, and we know that the Plague Doctor is evil, and that's all the kills. So, cool. Baker's corrupted, Plague Doctor's truthful, and 7 is the Lilith. Awesome. Well, the only corruption could be a drunk, so we're just going to kill the Confessor. Okay. You know, both these Empresses are pointing at 7, and 6 is pointing at 7. Let's see if the Slayer... Nice. Everybody hates 7. Except for the Knight who's just chilling there. Well, the Bishop's telling the truth. We don't know whether the Bombardier is good. Actually, we do. Since we don't have any hidden outcasts, it's just the one face-up outcast has to be good. Okay. 2 is a real bishop. I mean, I guess it has to be true. So 6 and 7 are some kind of combination of bad stuff and good stuff. Okay, anyway, we have 2 bards. Let's kill one of them because we can't actually have 2 bards. Cool. So 7 is good and is not corrupted. It's a nice little extra thing we know. So we could do this as much as we want. Okay, then what? Yeah, so 3, I guess, is a Bombardier. 6 is a... Yeah, so 3 is a real Bombardier, which I guess we already knew. Yeah. Oh, this bard's also lying, since, we already know the Slayer's not corrupted. Get out of my game. Okay, so no evils adjacent means the lover is definitely good. Oh, actually, yeah, 5 just has to be the Puka, since, if 8 or 9 was the Puka, then 7 or 1 would be corrupted. Well, we know that 1 is... Or, we know that 4 is good. I don't believe this bishop. Is the bishop corrupted? No. Good job, Plague Doctor. 2 evils. Yep, Jester's telling the truth. And... Well, they said the exact same thing. Let's just, yeah. Oh, right, there's a puppeteer. And that means there's a puppet. Oh, yeah, okay, so the lover's corrupted. Yeah, anyway, this guy's a puppet. I guess I guess I just kill the scout and we're good. Okay, well, no corrupted characters. And I guess it's true if there's no Plague Doctor. I'm just gonna click through random people. Alright, Jester thinks there are 2 evils among those people. I am inclined to not believe him. Okay, he's telling the truth. So it means everyone else is good. Alright, closest evil's clockwise, that's true. The scout is probably telling the truth that the shaman is touching an evil. Well, we know that this hunter is lying. Let's just see what this jester says. Jester says one evil among those. And, yep. You know, that village certainly happened. Alright, scout is telling the truth. Could be a puppet. 3 away from corrupted character. Okay, well that would imply that 3 or 5 is the drunk. Okay. Let's see if the druid agrees with that. Druid does not agree with that. What about the other druid? Okay. Well, I think that makes it more likely that there actually is a drunk among those people. Since if there were no outcasts here, the lying one would have had a good chance of saying Plague Doctor Bombardier. Okay, cool. Yeah, one of these is a drunk. Let's see what the Dreamer says about the puppeteer. Okay, Dreamer's truthful. Could 8 be the puppet? Well, okay, suppose 8 is the puppet. Then, you know, one of these is the drunk. Which I guess we already knew anyway. Oh yeah, I guess we know that the bard and the scout are both telling the truth. Like, obviously we knew the scout was telling the truth. And since 4 is not the drunk, it's either 3 or 5 as the drunk. Okay, could 3 be the drunk? Well then 5 would be evil, and I guess 6 would be good and truthful. So 2 is the scout, and then 8 is the puppet. So it could be 5 and 8. Okay, so that's a possibility. If 3 is the drunk. Okay, if I kill 5 and 5 is just telling the truth, then okay, the closest evil is counterclockwise, means yeah, that's impossible. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kill 5. Okay, yeah. So 3 is the drunk. Yeah, if 5 was telling the truth, then 3 would be good, and then 2 would be evil, and then there's no space for the last evil because it's 3 clockwise. Sorry, 3 counterclockwise, and then for there to be for that to be true, counterclockwise would have to be, or clockwise would have to be 4 spaces. So it would just be 1 and 2 are evil, and there's no space for another one. Anyway, yeah, since oh yeah, 8's a puppet then. 8 is claiming that 8 was affected by an evil. Yeah, the only way someone can be affected by an evil in this setup is if they're corrupted by the poisoner. But if 8 was actually corrupted by the poisoner, then 8 would say something else. Alright, fortune teller is truthful. 2 accuses 6. Now let's see what this druid says. Druid says no outcast. Ugh. Okay, well we know that 6 is not the poisoner, so that means 4 is the poisoner. Okay, Ba is not 2 away from closest evil. So that means 6 cannot be evil. means 2 is lying. I guess that means 2 has to be the witch or the drunk. Oh, this hunter's 4 away from closest evil. Okay, so this hunter could be corrupted, but since the oracle is accusing the hunter, that makes me more likely to think that he's actually evil. Okay. We have 3 outcasts. That's a lot. So this oracle has to also be corrupted. Could the oracle be the drunk? Well, we know that 4 is lying. We have to have a doppelganger. Yeah, we have 3 outcasts, and we only have these 3 types of outcasts because the wretch, there's no wretch. Let's see, medium, hunter, architect, lover, oracle, bard. Those are all different. Okay, so 9 and 1 have to be good, and one of them's a doppelganger, and the other one is corrupted. Cool. Oh. This means his lover is telling the truth. Okay. I think it's impossible for 8 to be telling the truth. Wait, no, what am I talking about? No, yeah, so if 8 is telling the truth, then there could be 2 evils on the right, but that's impossible. 4 is the only person on the right that could be evil. But then, yeah, so there's 1 evil on the right, which means the last evil would have to be in the middle, but we know that 9 is not evil. Yeah, so 8 has to be lying. Is it possible that 8 is corrupted? I feel like 8 has to be Babuka. Yeah, and I guess 9 is corrupted, and there's no pairs of evil. Cool. Yeah, we know 3 is good and corrupted. We don't know if 3 is the drunk. Well, you know what? Let's see if 4 is corrupted. 6 is evil, 4 is corrupted. Okay. We kind of fumbled our way through that, but we made it. And, you know, our streak lives another day. Until next time, thanks for watching.